Hey guys, how's it going, everybody? Hope you are doing well. So, this is going to be a general reading for both Scorpio and Sagittarius. So, we'll start with Scorpio. I pulled all of your cards ahead of time, and then after we're done with Scorpio, I'll reshuffle everything and then we'll do Sagittarius as well. So, yeah, they are both going to be general readings, which can cover anything like love, work, friends, family, health, etc., money, all forms of abundance, all that good stuff. All right. And all the readings they're both going to be timeless. So they're originally, set for a 4-week period. But they can certainly resonate for some couple months before, before as in the past, or a couple months in the future. Okay, so it will be different for everybody, but all are welcome, even if you are not a sun sign Scorpio or sun sign Sagittarius, since we all have Scorpio and Sagittarius somewhere within our charts. And sorry guys, I got bit up by a bunch of mosquitoes, so if you see me scratching and stuff, that's what it is. But anyway, yes. So we are also going to talk real quickly that first of all, whether you're new or you're coming back, thank you, welcome back. Appreciate your energy, appreciate new people too. So wanted to say that. And yeah, so let's go ahead first and ground our energy. I want to do that, and if you guys want to too. So we'll do a little sound bell here. So just be aware it does get a little loud for a brief moment. If you're sensitive or you're listening with headphones or something like that, you can always turn it down. But yeah, let's just go ahead and bring in the energy of Scorpio and just kind of chill and get in the zone. All right. Okay, here we go. All right. Okay, guys. So put this over here. But yeah, I hope everyone is doing well. So we're going to talk about kind of the placements of the cards first, and then we'll get into it. But I am using 2 different decks, okay? And we will always talk about the top and the bottom of each deck, and then a confirmation card, and then we also have a little animal spirit card at the end. It's not an oracle card per se, but it's kind of similar. So yes, so the first 4 cards are going to correspond to about 4 weeks. Okay. So we have the first card can be from around June 21st, a week we're in now, till about June 27th. And it's not exact, it's just kind of a guideline. The second card and second week could be from about June 28th through July 4th. And then the third card, third week, would be from around July 5th through July 11th. And the last one could be from around July 12th through July 21st. All right. And let's go ahead before I call out the cards. I do want to mention the other zodiac signs that I see here in your reading. So Scorpio, you came out in 3 different cards. Okay. So it's not your exact, death card per se is your card, right? But it is showing up in a few other cards. And then we also have Libra energy here. We have Taurus energy, Aquarius, and Leo. So what does that mean? For some, it means nothing, but for others, it could be that you're dealing with another Scorpio, dealing with an Aquarius, dealing with a Taurus, dealing with a Leo, dealing with a Libra, or you have some of those placements really predominantly throughout your birth chart or through the other person's, or it can even reference time frames when something, maybe if this is dealing with the past, happened, let's say in one of those seasons that already we went through in the past last year or coming up this year. Or again, like I said, it doesn't have to necessarily mean anything at all, but I wanted to mention it ahead of time, before I forgot. Okay, so let's go ahead and read out your cards. So you have the Prince of Sacred Circles, also known as Prince of Pentacles, in the right side up position. You have the Tower in the right side up position. You have the Nine of Sacred Circles, or Nine of Pentacles, in the reverse position. You have the Seven of Sacred Circles, or Seven of Pentacles, in the right side up position. And before we get to, we usually talk about what's on the top and the bottom a little bit later, but I did want to mention that you have one, two, three, four major arcanas. Okay, so it does speak of a certain amount of change. Two of them are in the past position, and then two of them are in the more future current position. Okay, so that's interesting to note as well. It's because I'm doing a small spread here. The more major arcanas that show up kind of really signify more change, okay? But it could be good change, it could be bad change, we don't know yet, right? But it is interesting to note, right? Now let's see what else was I gonna say. Oh, you do have a repeating card too. All right, so we'll talk about that when we come up. So that's also really interesting when that happens, since I'm using two different decks. There's usually 72 cards in every tarot deck, unless other specified or said, right? So that's 1 in 72 chances that it's going to come out again. And it is in the same, they're both in the upright position. So I'll talk about that in a little bit. So anyway, Scorpio, let's go ahead and start with your first card, right? The Prince of Sacred Circles, also known as the Prince of Pentacles, in the right side up position. And this is that week that we're in now, right? We said it could be from around June 21st through June 27th, okay? But this is a really interesting energy. It's a nice forward momentum energy, progress, right? The Prince, or if we're talking about, it's also known as a knight, right, would be an energy or a person or situation that's open to learning new things, because he's not a king yet. I might turn this light down, guys. Sorry, it's super bright and it's kind of blowing out the card a little bit. It's been raining here, and so I don't have much light from outside. But anyway, so he's smoking the peace pipe here, this Native American man, right? And so he is symbolizing communication, right? And having peaceful communication in some form or some way. Also, the knights and the princes are talking about a communication. Let's say, as an example, a communication that you're going to give to somebody, or already did, or someone's going to give to you, or it comes in just in general from the universe, right? But it could be a medium-sized communication, whatever that means for you, okay? But it is, in a positive placement, and it is, like I said, kind of centered around hopefully there being some peaceful energy to the way that this communication is brought in here, okay? Now, this could be, a masculine energy that is showing up here in the card, but it is just a metaphor, right? And we all have masculine and feminine inside of us, right? So, it doesn't necessarily have to be shown as like a man or whatever, but there is this really nice energy in the beginning of your reading here, Scorpio. So hopefully, like I said, it will be something kind of peaceful, the way that it is communicated, or the way that it comes in, and the way that it comes in also as like a open conversation. It's not necessarily like a stern, stubborn conversation, okay, or person or energy. All right, now moving forward, we get into your second card here, Scorpio. This communication, I feel, really brings a lot of change to it, because your second card is the Tower card in the right side up position. Okay, so the Tower is a surprising, shocking event. It could be a big event, a small event, a good, a bad, right? But basically what it's doing is it's tearing down something, not from the foundation upwards. It's kind of the opposite, right? So it's from the crown chakra, or the top of the tower, our head, right, all the way down, okay? So the Tower can represent spiritual downloads, revelations. Oh, now I finally understand something, or a person understands something if it's not you yourself here, Scorpio, or a general environment, energy, situation, okay? But when it follows that, again, that Prince of Sacred Circles or Prince of Pentacles, I feel that it does bring with it, hopefully, excuse me, let me turn that down. It brings with it, hopefully, something that is a good message, right? A good communication, whatever it may be. Now, before we move forward to your third card, and I think I don't know if I said again, this Tower energy could be around June 28th, so like the middle of next week or so through July 4th, okay, as an example. But let's break down even more here. We're going to talk about what's on the top and the bottom of this deck along with that Tower energy. So this is past energy, whatever that means for you. It could be a couple days ago, months, years, etc., okay? But what we have is on the top of your deck was the Three of Sacred Circles in the reverse position, and on the bottom is the Princess of Cups in the right side up position. And we're talking about it with the Tower card, right? And so basically what's going on here is that in the past, in some way here, Scorpio, whether it's you yourself, another person, multiple people, environment, somebody was perhaps not planning enough for the future. Perhaps they were struggling with stacking their abundance, their wealth, right? We know abundance can be not just money and wealth, but whatever you want to manifest. But they weren't planning it properly in the past, or you weren't, okay? Or multiple people, right? Whatever it may be. But also, when you look at this, let me show you just that one card because it's easier with the glare. If this card was right side up, right, you would see that bear in the background and the clouds and then the eagle, okay? And so it's about planning for the future, hibernation, the bear, and then seeing things from a higher perspective with the eagle, but it's reversed, okay, right? So somebody wasn't planning enough for something in the future, and perhaps they were only having tunnel vision. Let's say, as an example, they were only seeing from their perspective or your perspective or one perspective or viewpoint, philosophy of life, something like that, okay? And I just flipped this one and it wasn't flipped, sorry. Now when we move forward though, when you pair that with the Princess of Cups in the right side up position, it could be that somebody wasn't planning enough, seeing something from a larger perspective in regards to what they do for a living, how they find their own unique nature or hobby or a skill here. Or it was that they weren't planning for something unconventional, let's say, emotionally, okay, or something around those lines. Because the cups in the tarot, this is the Princess of Cups, right? And the water behind her as well represents our emotions. So what makes me emotionally fulfilled, content, happy? What are my emotional priorities, right? So maybe somebody wasn't planning their emotional priorities properly. Maybe they weren't planning enough emotionally in general, okay, in the past here in some way. Or maybe they weren't seeing something emotionally from a larger perspective, okay, or something emotionally, again, unconventional, okay? But at the same time, there was this underlying energy anytime we just talked about, right? You had the Prince of Sacred Circles, a prince, and now we have a Princess of Cups. They're different minor arcanas, but they are both open to learning something new, okay? So when we pair all that together again with that Tower card, it's almost like, I'm trying to think of the right way to say it. It's almost like somebody is maybe concerned about if they were to level up or you were to level up here, Scorpio, emotionally, grow up emotionally in some way, or start planning emotionally, okay, or again, looking at something emotionally from a larger perspective, that it was going to bring this Tower moment, right? And we said we kind of already or I said, hopefully, when I say we, it's spirit and me. But, you know, it's almost like if you want to plan or move up emotionally or grow, have growth, right? As far as your emotions or the other person's emotions or the general environment situation or everybody, right? Then of course you're going to have a Tower moment where things are broken down, and also brought together with the intellectual mind, the logical mind, the crown chakra, right? Because you can't have emotional growth or even logical growth or any type of growth, right? If you don't have, you know, each part in its section, right? To kind of, you know, the emotional side, let's say, would be your heart chakra, your spiritual side, um, and then put it together with your logical brain, your 3D, your society, your pay your bills side. Okay, so something like this. Okay, but I don't, you know, a lot of people freak out when they see the tower, but I love to see the tower myself when I get it in my own readings or even for other people individually if I'm doing a personalized reading, because it means that growth is happening, right? Again, it can be surprising, but I feel that it it's change. It represents change, okay? And things are always in life going to change, especially if they're healthy, right? Nothing ever stays the same forever. So um, I see it as a good card, okay? But of course, it depends on everybody. So let's keep going though and see what else we have here, all right? So we move from that tower card, right? The second week, so from around June 28th to July 4th or so. Okay. And then we're now in the third card, which could be from July 5th through July 11th, as an example. But we have the Nine of Sacred Circles in this reverse position. And remember when I was saying that there could have been a little bit of this hesitancy for this princess, right, to now become, if she was going to level up, a queen, or for even this prince who was going to maybe level up at some point, right, and change at some point to become a king, where then you have that Nine of Sacred Circles in reverse. Okay, nine being almost 10 in tarot, completion number, being a little bit hesitant or it's not the right time or something like this for this ending in this new beginning or this leveling up in any area of your life. So let's say, as an example, you go from being entry level employee to then the manager, from the manager to the CEO or what have you, in any area of your life. Okay, but also it could generally be with the Nine of Sacred Circles, also known as Nine of Pentacles in reverse, just this feeling of somebody's skill, determination, or focus is off, because you usually always see a falcon in the Nine of Sacred Circles or Nine of Pentacles, right? So usually you see that the falcon has the blindfolds on and then they take it off and they're given that one task that they're going to go fly and do, okay? But when it's in reverse, it's like it's harder to do that, okay? So don't worry, as a foreshadowing a preview event, you do have a next card following this that's really good, okay? So just look at it, like I usually say, as an energetic blockage or a little bit of stagnant energy or a gentle reminder, because you always have free will and choice in your life, and these things aren't set in stone. So when we talk about this Nine of Sacred Circles or Nine of Pentacles in reverse, we're going to also talk about what's on the top and the bottom of your other deck here, okay? And this is again past energy. So we have the World card in the right side up position and the Justice card in the right side up position. And so we got Libra energy here, and then we again have Scorpio, Taurus, Aquarius, and Leo energy all in the world. It's an alchemy, so it's 4 signs in one card, okay? But this is, you know, again, let me hold it up with this one so we know where we're at, right? Excuse me. So this is pretty much telling us that in the past, in some way here, Scorpio, perhaps when you have more skill, determination, and focus, or you're just getting ready for a leveling up in some area of your life, right? If it's a romantic thing, you date, then you date exclusively, then you move in, then you whatever society says, right? But everyone does different ways, or whatever it is, right? Maybe you're not ready for that, or the other person isn't ready for that yet, because in the past there was more of this feeling of being how do I say it? It could even have something to do with astrology, right? So tarot is always at a base level about astrology, and what are the more favorable times to do something when the planets are transitioning and moving and all of that, right? So it could be that in the past here, Scorpio, there was a more favorable time period to have this fresh start, new beginnings, to have this energy of carving something out of nothing. And in this deck with this card, it's literally an iceberg and it's completely clear. And there's a woman kind of standing over on the side, and so she can go in and carve up that ice to make it whatever she wants, right? And so in the past, there perhaps was more supportive energy for starting again in some way, or perhaps there was more supportive energy as far as something also being justified and balanced around that ending, that new beginning. Okay, because with the justice card here, right, we want everything equal in its place. We want things to be justified, not only, let's say, by society standards and morals, but at a base level, like what do we feel is right and wrong, right? Regardless of religion or spirituality, just our personal belief too. And so when you put this all together, it's like you just in general here, and going even backwards to the tower, could have been Scorpio. I say you, but it could have been again someone around you you're dealing with. You could have been just not not quite ready, or it wasn't the quite exact time for this to go down. Or if you don't feel like you have a new beginning around the corner, or you don't feel like things are justified, then of course it's going to affect your falcon. Your falcon's going to be upside down, because if you don't feel like there could be a new beginning or a fresh start energy, or things being in its proper place, then maybe that kind of sets your world um, off kilter and makes it harder for you to focus on the things that you normally focus on, or more normally better at, right? Something like this. So I really feel like, what one part of this reading could be just about like your world being shooken up in some way, to make some changes, right? And really also trust yourself, to plan for the future and have it not be boring, right? Because remember, you had that Three of Sacred Circles in reverse, or Three of Pentacles in reverse. Sometimes when we're a certain age, or just a personality in general, like we don't want to plan so much. Okay, but it's thing about this planning, but also having a looseness to it, where it's still a fresh new beginning, something around this. Okay, I'll find the right words as we go through, but I'm just trying to like pick up the energy and describe it for you here the best way. So anyway, let's keep on going. I don't want to stay there too long. I thought I set my timer, but I guess I didn't. It's okay. What time are we at? 20. Okay, 20 minutes. Yeah. So let's keep moving here. Now we go from, to back up a second, we go from the Nine of Sacred Circles in reverse to then the Seven of Sacred Circles right side up. And that's the other thing here too. I would say, predominantly here, Scorpio, you have the majority of your minor arcanas are all pentacles, okay, sacred circles, because you have three. 1, 2, 3. And then actually take the back, 4. Sorry, you have 4. Okay, so what does that mean? Pentacles, coins, sacred circles is about money, but also abundance. So what do you value? What does the other person value? Multiple people value, environment value, vice versa. And what are you putting your focus and attention on, and all of that. Okay, so there's definitely some questioning of values here. Good questioning, and yeah, let's keep going though, because yeah. Sorry, my nose is itchy. Okay, so anyway, we go from this one, remember, nine of sacred circles in reverse to now we have forward momentum and progress and movement again with the seven of sacred circles right side up. Okay. And this is perfect because remember we kept saying there was a lack of planning in some way. When I say planning, it doesn't necessarily mean like this is supposed to happen on this day, right? Planning could be conserving your energy, conserving your resources, whatever it is, okay? But here it comes through finally for you, Scorpio. In that fourth week, then we said it could be from around July 12th through July 21st, okay? But here we see this kind of Thanksgiving, Native American-like spread, even though putting Thanksgiving and Native American together just seems really gross to me. And yeah, we won't go into all that. But yeah, if you know, you know. I'm just trying to describe the visuals, right? If some people are listening and not watching. But really, again, like, right, we're going to save for the winter. So fuck Thanksgiving and that whole thing with the Native Americans. We're not saying fuck the Native Americans. We're saying the other people, right? The colonizers. But anyway, it's about, okay, we got to have enough food for the winter. We got to have enough money for the winter. We got to have enough energy for the winter, whatever it is, right? But it's also about, right, seven, almost, not almost, but being close to 10. So slowly building abundance, slowly building your business, your love, your health, whatever you're focused on, okay? Multiple things, right? You can focus on multiple things too. So this is good because now it's like this little bit of slowing down of energy, of absorbing all these changes and how, you can get back on track. Then here we see it in that fourth week, okay, Scorpio. Now, with all that being said, let's talk about your confirmation card because this is your repeating card that showed up again. It's the Tower, okay? Now, this confirmation card is confirming all four cards for 4 weeks that we're talking about. So I want to show it to you because they're both right side up, okay? And one is, well, actually, they both are, okay? Neither one of them is past. They both are future, current, present energies, possibilities at this time, okay? But like I said, it's surprising. It looks scary because there's a fire, and this one people are falling, right? But they're jumping because they have to, right? They're changing because they have to, almost being forced to change in some way. And that's what life does to us, right? Even if we don't want certain things to change eventually, they will at some point, okay? But I look at it as a good thing. So that's how I see it. And hopefully you will take it that way too, all right? Now, what else? The enlightenment is coming down. As they're falling down the tower, you can see little tiny pieces of the fire or the sun, or people say it's money, but I look at it as the enlightenment as they're jumping and falling is now coming into their being, okay? So it's another way to look at it as well. But all right, you know what, Scorpio, you're on track right here, so I think it's going to be all good. So anyway, let's talk real quickly about your little animal card before you go, or before we switch to Sagittarius. So this time, for this time period or even beyond, right, you got the polar bear. And look how beautiful that is. All right, so this is the Susan Bolette is the artist. All right, so I'm just going to read from the back of it real quickly. So in Native American culture, they regard the polar bear to represent power, wisdom, and peace, right? Remember we said peaceful over here with the Prince of Sacred Circles and the peaceful communication coming in the peace pipe. Then we also said with the Three of Sacred Circles in reverse, we had another bear over here. We don't know what kind of bear it is, but it could have been the polar bear. All right. So let's see here what this says. It says the Inuit native peoples considered the polar bear, which they called Nunkuk, I think is how you say it. Forgive me if I'm saying it improperly, to be powerful and wise. The legend of, I don't know how to say that at all. Q, Kwa, G, Aku. We're going to just say that, okay, because I don't know how to say this. Anyway, we'll just say it again. The polar bear describes a 10-legged polar bear living on the Arctic ice pack who renounced the violence of his four-legged relatives and attempted to create a community based on peace and love. In this painting entitled, excuse me, entitled Playing with the North Wind, the bear dances and coverts with the wind, a symbol of spiritual energy. Susan Bolett, who identified with the bear totem, completed this painting just before her death in 1996. The raised forepaw of the polar bear in the painting appears to be waving goodbye. Okay, interesting. So yeah, I didn't know that was her last painting. I also didn't remember about the 10-legged polar bear. So I'll have to look more into that. Maybe I'll post something later about it, or you can look at it, of course, in your own time as well. So anyway, I always think of the polar bear and the Coca-Cola commercials, right? Like playing with their little kids and just looking really adorable. So that's the kind of energy I think of too. But anyway, this is your reading, Scorpio. So hopefully you found something here of value. And always feel free to let me know in the comments down below if you want to, but you don't have to. So thank you so much. And thank you for your subscriptions, which is free, right? It's just a way to subscribe to my channel to know when I put out new videos. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to, you just click that little bell on the left side, right? I think it's left. No, it's right. It's my left, your right. But anyway, there's a bell. You can click on it if you want. And also thank you for your likes too. I appreciate it. So anyway, with all that, let's go ahead and shuffle and clear the energy. And we'll move on to Sagittarius here. And I will put a timestamp after the live for people who want to just go straight to Sagittarius. Okay. Let's see here. Got our crystals, you know, to charge up the energy, clear the energy of the last reading. And just turning this up. A little background music here. All right. So yes, moving on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius. We're going to move it on for you. Yes. Yeah, I'm trying to think of what we could talk about while I shuffle here real quickly. In case people are just tuning in later, just for the Sagittarius reading, right? But yeah, there is Sagittarius somewhere in everyone's chart, right? So all are welcome. And you also, depending on what's going on in your life, you may resonate with different things at different times, right? So sometimes you may resonate with your sun sign, right? Sometimes you may resonate more with your moon sign or your rising sign. So that's why I always encourage everyone, if you haven't already, to get a free birth chart online to find out what your other placements are. Even if you don't know your exact birth time, as long as you know where you were born and the date, you can, you know, find out where your Venus is for matters of love and money, higher forms of assets, for even more insight into that, or where your Jupiter is for your luck and abundance, as an example, but all that good stuff. So anyway, Sagittarius messages for fire sign Sagittarius for June 1st through June 21st. I mean July. What did I say? That was weird. Okay, let me try that again. You know what? Actually, I forgot to do the sound bell. Let's do that. Okay. Woosah, right? As they say. Okay. So let's do some grounding and clearing up energy of Scorpio, and now moving on to Sagittarius. So if you want to, you can take a deep breath and breathe, relax. Just be aware it is a little loud at times for a brief moment if you're sensitive or listening with headphones, okay? All right, Sagittarius. All right. Okay, I don't know why I was whispering, but okay. So messages for fire sign Sagittarius for June 21st through July 21st. What do they need to see? Messages for fire sign Sagittarius, the Archer. Can't remember how many times it's shuffled now, but you know what? Let's cut the deck to more shuffle. All right. Sagittarius, June 21st through July 21st. Okay, so that one feels good. We'll come back to that one. Spirits guide my hands. Messages for Sagittarius. June 21st to July 21st. Messages for fire sign Sagittarius, the Archer, for June 21st to July 21st. Whoa. Okay, come back to that one. And messages for Sagittarius. Fire sign Sagittarius. For June 21st through July 21st, Sagittarius. Messages for fire sign Sagittarius. Oh, okay. June 21st through July 21st, Sagittarius. Messages for Sagittarius. What do they need to see? What do they need to know for their highest vibration? Okay, we'll come back to that one. Go back here. All right, let's make a little fish pile, or that's what I like to call it, whatever. Okay, and hold on a second. Need a little more coffee. Okay. Messages for Sagittarius for June 21st through July 21st. What do they need to see? What do they need to know for their highest vibration? Messages for Sagittarius. Messages for Sagittarius. Messages for Sagittarius for June 21st through July 21st. What do they need to see? What do they need to know? Messages for the Archer, fire sign Sagittarius for June 21st through July 21st. Okay. So I'm just going to confirm with Spirit how they want these cards. Spirits, do you want to do cards? Spirits, do you want the 2 of Cups? Okay. 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 So they want those like that, so we're going to keep it. Just move it over. And then we're going to take what's on the top, the bottom. Is that the bottom? Shit. Yeah, let me ask. Because this one also looked like it was on the bottom. Hold on. Let me ask it real quick. It's very soon. Okay. Spirit 2 of the 3 of Cups in the right side position. Okay, they said yes, so okay. Moving on. All right. And let's do shuffled it that way. Let's do this way. All right. Messages for fire sign Sagittarius. For their highest vibration, what do they need to see? One card, please, for June 21st. Okay, that one. That's what they wanted. Okay. I will confirm real quick. See. Animal spirit card. Okay. Yep. I was like trying to remember. I was like, it's not an oracle card, it's an animal card thing. Okay, one more card, guys. Messages for fire sign Sagittarius. One card, please. What do they need to see? What do they need to know for June 21st through July 21st?